Hi, it's Mike Delsignore. In today's video, I want to talk about what are the keys to success if you have a hearing in front of the Board of Appeals. So the typical case is you crash your car, you charge it OUI, and you get an immediate threat suspension. Now, how do you get that immediate threat suspension overturned, and what do you need to do to get your license back at the Board of Appeals or the Registry of Motor Vehicles? So if you crash the car, you're brought to the hospital. Often you'll get a citation, but you won't get a court date right away. You'll send the citation in, you'll get a date for a magistrate hearing, and at that magistrate hearing is an attempt to have the magistrate potentially not issue the complaint. Now, most OUIs it's going to get issued. There are some courts where I've had a great deal of success getting OUIs resolved at the clerk hearing. But for today's purpose, let's assume you're in a court where the complaint is going to be issued. The case is then going to be put on for arraignment pre-trial. So how do you get this immediate threat lifted? So what you need to do, and this is going to be true regardless of if we go to trial and win the case, you're still going to need to do these things that I tell you in this video to get your license back before the Board of Appeals. So the Board of Appeals and even the registry, if you go to the registry, we'll talk about that too. But the board's where you got your most likely chance of success of lifting the immediate threat. So what you need to do is if it's alcohol related, you need to do AA, you need to get a substance abuse evaluation, and you really need to stop drinking. The board wants to hear you're not drinking. They want to hear that you're doing AA, you're counseling, you have people in your life that are supporting you. So this is regardless of whether you win the case or not. They want to see you on track with your life and know that you're a safe driver. And this is all stuff you should do anyway. It's stuff that's going to help you in your life. Alcohol doesn't really ever help any of us in our daily life. And if you got an OUI, then to some extent, alcohol is an issue. And, for many, maybe it was just one night out. Alcohol is not a problem. But the board doesn't really want to hear that. They don't want to hear it's a one-time thing. I'm fine. I'm good. It's never going to happen again. They want to know that you're doing AA, that you've got a substance abuse evaluation. We recommend there's a place called Boston ASAP that does them. I know another gentleman that I recommend people to as well. So there's a couple places we recommend, but you can go to other places. You need a substance abuse evaluation, someone to put something in writing that you're dealing with your issues of alcohol and that your risk of recidivism is low. That's what the board wants to hear. So when you take things seriously with the board, you do AA, you get this substance abuse evaluation, and when you're able to tell them that you're not drinking, you're on your road to getting your license back and the immediate threat lifted. So those are just some things you must do. Now, in certain cases, maybe if it's a very extreme case, you might have other things to do, but at a minimum, you want to do those three things that I mentioned. Go to AA, get a substance abuse evaluation, and third, let them know you're not drinking, that you've eliminated drinking from your life. So you want to have that under control. Now, those are the things that we would recommend for the Board of Appeals. If at the registry is not going to give you a license back unless the case is resolved. Then you have to, and you do finish the 24D program. So typically you'll be able to get to the Board of Appeals before the registry. But if you do resolve the case quickly and you finish the 24D, then do those things. You can bring it to the registry. Maybe the registry will lift this immediate threat suspension. So let's talk now about the underlying case. You crashed the car, you went to the hospital. This case is a case that there may not be very much evidence. So a hospital blood test isn't a scientific, reliable test. It's an enzymatic test. So it's basically a test of, it's not a test of your blood, but how of a reaction, basically. It's not a direct test of your blood. So it's not a forensic test that should be accepted by the court. It's really a quick screening test that is designed to let the hospital know, is alcohol an issue in your treatment? But it's not a test of scientific reliability. There's a test called the gas chromatography where they separate the blood and they test it, and that's considered a scientific test. Now, the ways to challenge what they call a GC blood draw, but this is far less reliable and scientific. Let's think about a breath test, for example. When someone takes a breath test, there's two samples. There's a process for the Office of Alcohol Testing to test these machines to some extent. The blood test, they don't even get to that level with the hospital blood draw. It's basically a quick test And so don't assume this test can be used in court. And there's a lot of attorneys that don't challenge these. Now, this is something that I've had to speak to experts, go to advanced trainings on, and really get into what a blood test is to help my clients the best way possible. So, as lawyers, we're not just arguing cases and cross-examining witnesses, a big part, but we have to really dig ourselves into the science to really help you and to challenge the evidence. Because when you get these cases, really to present the argument correctly and to cross-examine witnesses on these issues, you really need to know the science. That's something I've done for years, and I enjoy doing. So if you have an immediate threat suspension, feel free to call me. I can help you both with the case in court. If you didn't get the citation right away, that can be a complete defense to the case. So let's say this just happened recently, don't call the police and says, where's my citation? If you get that citation a week, 2 weeks, a month later, you may have a complete defense to the case because you're supposed to get the citation right away. So don't make the mistake of asking the police where the citation is. You might just ruin your best defense in the case. So keep these things in mind. If you have questions on the board or the underlying OUI, feel free to contact me. My number is 781-686-5924. It's my cell number. You can call, text anytime, and I'll be happy to help you get through this issue that you have with the registry and the court. Michael Delsignore, Massachusetts OUI attorney. This is a book that I wrote that basically covers the ins and outs of all OUI defense. It's called Facing an OUI Charge in Massachusetts. And provide you a copy of my book and any other information you need, and be glad to talk to you and discuss your case.